All right, let's make it 2 in a row. For the second week in a row, WWE produced an episode of Monday Night Raw that, for the most part, I was into, and some moments, dare I say, had me on the edge of my chair. Was it perfect? No, not even close. But we'll get there. First things first, you know what to do. Click this button, subscribe to the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel for more content like this, plus exclusive interviews, and so much more. Let's get right into it. I'm Ricky Ucchino. Here's what Raw got right this week, and what made me go,
what the hell are you doing?
Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out!
Okay, for some reason, unbeknownst to us, Randy Orton was not available to compete last night. He wasn't even on the show. That opened up a spot in the Money in the Bank qualifying match, the last chance Money in the Bank qualifying match with Drew McIntyre and AJ Styles. So to fill out that main event spot, the show opened up with an over-the-top rope battle royal, and it was honestly booked about as well as a battle royal can be. You had multiple storyline progressions here, including a nice moment between Mustafa Ali and Mansoor. Jinder Mahal, to his credit, looked incredibly strong, even though he ultimately did not win this matchup. But the main focus of the Battle Royal, and the main focus for much of Monday Night Raw, was on one Matt Riddle, who was trying to earn a spot in the Money in the Bank ladder match for his buddy, Randy Orton. Now, I will admit, Riddle entering and winning the Battle Royal on Randy's behalf, it was cute. It was a really, really nice way to progress their partnership angle, and I get why he won, but ultimately, I think the wrong call was made here, especially with the way that the main event turned out later on in the night. Now, Riddle, of course, was already in the Money in the Bank ladder match no matter what, and Orton, let's face it, he didn't need to be in there anyway. I would have much rather they'd taken this opportunity with Orton now out to help build up a guy like Damian Priest by giving him the win in the Battle Royal and then putting him over Drew and AJ in the main event. Priest did make his return to the ring last night after rumors that he was dealing with a back injury. So good to see him back, but he would finish second in the Battle Royal to Matt Riddle, and that made even less sense following last night's main event, where Drew McIntyre, not AJ Styles and not Riddle, earned his way into the Money in the Bank ladder match, and I'm sure that just pleases everybody out there who is suffering from a little bit of Drew McIntyre fatigue. I'm not, personally, but I get if other people are. Now, this main event was an absolute barn burner, and Riddle, to his credit, stole the show. There is no denying his talent, and it's pretty obvious that WWE is grooming him to be a top-level star in the very near future. But
I have several questions.
1. What was the point of the entire night if Riddle was going to fail to get Orton in the match after all? 2. Couldn't WWE have had Riddle fail at the start of the show and again use the main event to build up a guy like Damian Priest? 3. Why did Omos save AJ Styles from getting beat, but when McIntyre hit the Claymore on Riddle, didn't immediately try to break up the pinfall attempt? I mean, this was mere seconds afterwards. 4. If Drew McIntyre isn't allowed to face Bobby Lashley anymore, how can he be in the Money in the Bank ladder match in the first place? 5. Does this mean that if Drew wins, he can't cash in on the WWE Champion until Lashley no longer has the belt? And 6. Are they really going to put McIntyre over everybody else in the end just to set up him versus Roman, when all the other guys in the match so far desperately need this briefcase way more than he does? I honestly could keep going, but in the end, it was an incredible start and closeout to the show last night. Enjoyed it thoroughly. Now, for that 2-hour middle bit, I have another question for you. If you don't like Nikki Cross, do you even have a soul? I mean, not liking Nikki Cross is like not liking puppies or pizza. You'd have to be a psychopath. She is just so damn infectious. I'm all in on this almost a superhero gimmick. She sold me, man. I am all in with Nikki Cross. Again, if anyone can pull this off, and I think she is so far, it is her. But what does an almost superhero need? That's right, a villain, a rival, and I think Alexa Bliss, especially given her character work recently, can be the Joker to Nikki Cross's Batman. I know Alexa provided an assist to her former best friend last night, but the history is obviously there between these two. Alexa is just crazy enough to make this work, to make this rivalry work with Nikki Cross. Sign me up for these two battling it out with one another for the foreseeable future. Hell, put the Raw Women's Championship in between these two. Because I'll say it one more time, if this Nikki Ash angle is going to work, the booking has to be strong. And I will scream it until the match comes to a conclusion. Give Nikki Cross the Women's Money in the Bank briefcase. For a company that is in dire need of strong top-level babyfaces, Kofi Kingston reminded, or hopefully reminded, the top brass in WWE just who the hell he is last night. Kofi cutting the promo of the night, touting his 6-month reign as WWE Champion while demanding people put respect on Xavier Woods' name, which I essentially said the same thing in last week's video, so I really appreciate Kofi coming to bat for him as well. But more importantly for Kofi, the stars may be aligning here. He is finally getting his second chance as the fans are getting ready to come back. You want to talk about being over? Wait until you see the reaction that both Kofi and Big E, for that matter, get at Money in the Bank. WWE may have no choice but to let KofiMania run wild all over Las Vegas, or they could use Kofi's momentum to get major heat on the almighty Bobby Lashley. Either way, WWE is in a win-win situation here. Couple of quick notes before I finish my final thoughts. Doudrop, looking extremely strong, is just fine with me. Dumb name aside, she's an absolute force in the ring so far, and I have no issue with her beating Naomi or Asuka this week with no stakes on the line. And this partnership with Eva, by the way, it's working. It's working in the sense that we all want to see drop Eva flat on the ground. I'm hoping they wait until fans are back for her to do it. If you're going to book a double count out, you might as well book it like you did John Morrison and Ricochet last night. Holy sh! Ricochet with an absolute piss missile of a crossbody, as Pat McAfee would say, the absolute highlight of the night. And just think, we get these two guys in the Money in the Bank ladder match in a couple of weeks. Elias got new music. Gross. He also lost to Jackson Ryker in a relatively short strap match on a very weak-looking spinning power slam. Good for him. Moving on, finally, let's talk about that 6-woman tag match. Charlotte, Natty, and Tamina versus Rhea, Mandy, and Dana. I, like many others, I have no earthly idea who the babyfaces are. Who am I supposed to be rooting for in this matchup? If I had to guess, Natty and Tamina did receive their push after Mania due to the positive crowd reaction, and Rhea did cheap shot Charlotte after the match, so the Queen is the face here? Bold choice. Now, I'm not hating on the match last night. I thought the action was great. That's a lot of talent in the ring at one time, but I think we've reached the point where we have too many people who are just undefined as their characters. The returning live crowds, I'm hoping, will help key creative into the proper directions for some of these ladies. Also, Mandy Rose took the loss again last night. I'm not sure how she and Dana, the only other women's tag team left in the entire division, are supposed to earn a shot at the tag team champions if they keep losing. I mean, in the end, they're going to get one just for existing, but it shouldn't be that way. What harm would it have been for Charlotte and Rhea to end up fighting one another into and throughout the entire Thunderdome last night, allowing for Mandy or Dana to get the win over Natalya? That would have made a lot more sense to me. All in all, another good episode of Raw. We got positive momentum heading toward Money in the Bank. Cannot wait for that first pay-per-view with a live crowd to really send us off and get us out of this pandemic era. That is our video this time around. Make sure to give us the old thumbs up there. Also, make sure to subscribe once again to the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel for more content like this, plus exclusive interviews and so much more.